Hello, beautiful ladies. Welcome back to another Wamen hour. And every time I listen to our intro, I always think about the one time I got a comment that said that the music sounds like an 80s corporate video. And now I can't unhear it. It sounds like some kind of get ready for learning about sexual harassment in the workplace. And this will be the last time for a while that we have that Douglas Castle intro. I'm going to be making a new intro for next week. So let me know if you want to keep the 80s corporate music or get a new song, because I really love that song. It's from Donkey Kong Country 2. So I love that music. It always makes me jam to it. But if you'd rather hear a new song or go back to the old Wamen Hour music, I can get the old Sim City. Was it Sim City that AA used to use when we were on his channel?
Was it Sims? I can't remember now.
It wasn't The Sims. It was like one of the other Sims.
Yeah, it was a
SimCity Nights or something anyway. Hello, Birdie. Welcome back to Wamen Hour after a little sabbatical. What would you call it?
Good evening. Yeah, I ran away up country for basically the whole month. So I was completely away from my laptop for a good 6 weeks, 6 weeks. It's been a while. It's good to be back though. It's nice to be back.
We're happy to have you back. Yeah, we should call the stream Sim City. That would be good to.
I keep getting every time I visit Alex's family. His youngest brother constantly tells me to tell you and tell all the other women to change the name to Broadcast. I keep to Broadcast, and I keep telling him it's no. Good. I was like, it's good, I like but it. No.
You guys keep the branding though, I think.
Yeah.
At least keep the hour so people know it's the same show.
Yeah.
That's the secret of building an audience. I think is just maintain the same.
Yeah, as much as we want to change it constantly.
And the reason that we're changing the intro is because I am now harder than ever trying to sell more illustrations. So I'll just show you what I've been working on this week. Since I've come back from Lent and come back to Twitter, I've been, like I say, trying to get... so this is, you might recognize this lady from a certain viral TikTok. She's isn't she just perfect? Got the kind of anime drill hair. So that was one that I just drew for myself, and this is one just fresh off the presses. We have now where is it? Here it is. This is a character from Shovel Knight that someone requested, that someone commissioned, and he gave me complete sort of creative reign to do whatever I wanted. So I've done this sort of phone screen background that could also be cropped for a profile picture. But yeah, I got a lot of advice from my husband last night about the light sourcing, which he knows all about from painting Warhammer models. But it's also knowledge. It's good artistic knowledge that can be also ported into painting. So I got a lot. It was nice to work on that with him, just to get the shadows and the light looking, I think, quite atmospheric in this picture. So I thought I'd share that with you. And if you'd like to have an illustration, a profile picture, a banner image, website material, whatever it is that you want, a character from Shovel Knight that you like, just get in touch and we can talk about it. It starts at £15 for line work, just black and white line sketches I can do for £15, up to £50 for maximum complexity, which is backgrounds, shading, colours, all of that. So pretty reasonable competitive rates, and you get to have a private conversation with me about an artistic project. So what's not to love? Get in touch. If you want to support the show, why not get a picture out of it? Instead of just winging us some money to talk to flap our mouths for a while, you can get a permanent piece, an illustration just for you. So without that's enough of the old shilling. Would you like to, for the last time, tell us what Douglas Castle is, Birdie, since you're here tonight?
I can try to. It's my very, very small business. I sell in a couple of shops locally down here. So I make my own jewelry, and I also do photography as well. So a lot of people have noticed I post a lot of bird photos. Those are all my own photos, and you can any photo I post that's got the little Douglas Castle in the corner of it, you can buy those from me in either an A5 print, which are all mounted for a very reasonable £13, or an A4 print mounted again for £20, and I can post everything out to you. I do have a Twitter page for Douglas Castle, but it's very, very small, and I keep forgetting to post on it. So I will try and keep that up. But yeah, you can just send me a message if you're interested in anything. Yeah, that's pretty much it, really.
Yeah, I love looking at your photography at the start of every Wamen hour. I'm going to miss those little birds at the start.
The birds and the bees, yeah, it's an interesting combination you've got there.
We've done enough of self-promotion, so let's get on to the topic. Tonight, I sort of randomly wanted to pick out a topic that's been on my mind for a while, which is sort of the broad trend of self-improvement video content. It's a very internet-centered trend. It's kind of medium that has never existed before, where the product that this person is selling, whether they are actually selling you anything or not, but it's not entertainment exactly, although it might also be entertainment. But what you're watching is someone who embodies some aspect of life that you want to attain yourself. Whether they be rich or muscular or beautiful or elegant, feminine, masculine, whatever it is that they're trying to sell as a self-improvement kind of product, that they're teaching you how to get to become this way by changing yourself. Like, if you want to be more productive, if you want to be more gentle, more charismatic, these definitely range from, I'd say, better to worse. There's a really broad genre, any kind of content at all, for women, for men, for teenagers, for anyone, any kind of person you can think of. I've even seen them, not explicitly, but they seem to even group by race. There's one content creator I want to talk about who's this black woman who seems to be, without explicitly saying it, is teaching specifically black women to be more elegant, classy, self-fulfilled women, which is something I actually really enjoy. I don't know if it was really created for me, but there you go. Birdie, do you watch any channels that fall under the broad description that I've just put out there?
I wouldn't say I watch them religiously, but they do pop up quite a lot when I'm sort of scrolling through various social medias. The three that come up constantly on mine are aesthetics, and I know we hate the words aesthetics, the trad wife aesthetic, the cottagecore, the Dino aesthetic is coming up as well, which is really annoying because you just keep scrolling past it. The gentle parenting one, I don't know if you've seen any videos like this.
Parenting, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and specifically the gentle parenting thing, the whole idea behind that. And I mean, there is a woman that I do occasionally watch, and she's got two little boys. One boy's he's got some learning difficulties, but she's never actually mentioned what they are. But let's just put it this way, you can see in his face that he is physically underdeveloped. So she's gentle parenting her two boys. This one's the younger one, and then there's an older one who's now 4 years old, I believe, and the younger one's just turned 3. But she mainly kind of films the boys, because the older boy tends to gentle parent the younger one, because he's been learning off his mum, and it's quite sweet. But at the same time, she replies to all these comments and she gets hounded all the time. And the other one is autistic children. The amount of parents I have seen who are just showing, at whatever age, I mean, I've seen ones from toddler age up until teenagers, and parents just kind of showing, oh, this is how you raise an autistic child. They're coming more and more popular, I think. They're constantly on your feed. It doesn't matter what you watch. You watch one video and that's it. You're just like, oh, you're going to have all these so-called self-improvement.
I think that's what happened to me with the femininity stuff, where I got interested in the concept of femininity, not just through like Classically Abby, which I think was the first channel I sincerely started watching, but you get recommendations based on what you watch, but also just doing research for videos where I've been interested in hearing people try to describe what femininity really is and what the benefit of it is and how it fits into society. And somehow I just keep getting recommended videos about being, like I say, elegant, feminine, gentle. I also get these parenting videos, but weirdly I haven't seen any of these specifically autistic parenting or disabled kids stuff. So I think you do just get put down these weird rabbit holes, and that's probably how a lot of people found this stream to begin with. So I'm definitely not dissing that.
Well, as long as they stick around, it's fine.
But I originally wanted to make this stream just about this weird femininity rabbit hole that I've gone down, where there's a lot of really. I'm just going to share my screen so I can. There's something to look at while I'm talking, because I want to talk about the good and the bad, from my opinion. And then I also want to go on to talk about, like, is it even really possible to improve yourself by watching YouTube videos? I'm kind of conflicted about this.
Yeah, I feel like this could go down another rabbit hole. So
I started getting recommended this lady, and I think this is probably a really good example where she's giving very good advice about how to hold yourself, how to conduct yourself in public and in private, to properly make people to look like, just to make yourself look like a well put together, someone who's in control of themselves, who's interested in making other people feel happy and make them feel comfortable, self-respecting, all of these really good qualities, especially in women. Although she doesn't specifically say this is advice for women. So she gives a lot of good advice, but it's really, really specific. It's not this really general, wishy-washy, like enhance your whatever this energy and talking about star signs or whatever. She's just saying, like, literally, like, use your right hand to do this, use your left hand to do this. When you sit down, put your knees like this. It's so specific. Who knows if this will actually make your life better, but I feel like if you stand in the way she tells you to stand and do the exercises she tells you to do and dress in the way that she suggests, like, whether that actually makes you more likable or whatever.
My main question towards this woman or channel specifically like these is because she's got so many videos and they're all on something different. So, like, one's there on 7 tips to become a better writer, nighttime skincare routine. I haven't got my glasses on, so I'm trying to. So they're all very, very different. Now, is this just improving like one part of yourself, or is this, if you watch all of these videos, you're going to be a better person?
So she's an etiquette teacher by trade. That's what she does for a living, and she just started uploading during COVID because she needed material to share with her students because she couldn't be with them in person. So she just started doing that, and then I think she just, whatever people ask for, people see that she has this beautiful home, beautiful clothes. They really like the way that she's conducting herself, the way that she speaks, the way that she acts, and they want to know, what is it that you're doing that is making you so elegant, so beautiful? It's not just the etiquette. It's not just being polite. It's actually just a really, she's just a really calming, nice person. And I guess the question I want to get into tonight is it really possible to follow someone's advice to become, you're kind of hoping that if you did all these things and you watched all these videos and did everything she said, you turn out being pretty much like her. You could have this really soft, gentle, well-articulated voice.
Yeah.
You could make people listen to you, and you could persuade people. You could talk without stumbling over your own words. You could walk around a room without tripping over your feet or without saying the wrong thing. It's not really possible, though, is it? You might improve yourself by 5%, but this woman didn't get this way by watching YouTube videos. She's obviously like most of it is her natural just personality that is coming through and being enhanced by these techniques, I think. And that goes for being being a bodybuilder, being a millionaire, all of these things that YouTubers try to make you believe you can have if you just follow these steps.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the main thing you said there was natural. You know, she's doing this because that's what she feels comfortable doing. That's her natural personality. Like the bodybuilders, that's what they naturally want to do. And it's the same as the aesthetic streams. You know, you watch those, and I've noticed quite a lot with influencers in general. They'll start off, you know, just kind of filming their day-to-day life, or this is a day of my life, etc. And then people will start asking questions. You say, "Oh, how can you do that?" Or "How did you do your hair like that?" Or, you know, they start asking about their lives, but in a more personal way. So it's not just a generalized sort of question. They are being more specific. But to answer your question in terms of, you know, is it possible to follow all these steps and watch all these videos and be like that person? No, because it's not you. You know, there are certain things you can learn, you know, how to curl your hair, for instance, or how to, you know, how to plant vegetables. I don't know, whatever you want to do, there are things you can learn. But when it comes to your personal preference or your personal characteristics, they're in your genes. You know, you can't really change them. Does that make sense? So if you're just copying them, you're not actually being yourself. So yeah, you can copy what they're doing to try and be like them, but people who actually know you are going to be like, yeah, no, that's not you. And it probably will look unnatural, because I don't know if you've ever noticed, but people who are trying to do something that's not them, you know, if I wear a pair of trousers that I don't normally wear, I will look weird, and I feel like, because I'll be acting differently, because it's not natural for me. And it goes for the same with these people. If you just copy what they're doing, you're not being natural, and it comes naturally to them. So there's only so much you can actually do. But I mean, you could probably find certain things in what comes natural to you that you might not have discovered before. So I suppose that's a plus side, but I wouldn't go into this and watch them and expect to just be like them overnight, you know.
Well, I think there's a lot of wisdom in these channels. The etiquette one in particular, that, you know, elite women used to go to finishing school to learn this stuff, and she's trying to teach just exactly what women used to learn at finishing school, where it's, you know, how to address this kind of person, how to treat your social superior versus your social inferior, how do you treat women versus men, you know, standing up when a lady enters the room, or, you know, when to extend your hand for a handshake, or stuff like that. That it's a very sort of, it is kind of shallow and gatekeepy, but there are people to whom those little arbitrary rules don't seem so arbitrary, and they will sort of flag you up as an outsider if they, you know, if you follow the right rules. Nobody who doesn't know those rules is going to notice, because it will just seem like you're acting naturally. This is just etiquette in particular, but also things like posture and you know, being aware of the kinds of words that you use. You're showing these sort of lots of signals about yourself that you don't even know that you're sending, because you've never been given the code, right? Like you're just screaming faux pas that you are completely unaware of. So to the extent that I have a slightly paranoid belief that there really are people who still care about this etiquette stuff, I feel really grateful to learn these etiquette rules, because I feel like I can just always do the right thing, and most people won't notice. But then there's some people who will notice that you're doing the right thing, and you might be the only person in the room who you know, did the right special handshake.
Yeah, and I think this is also very apparent depending on where you are. You know, if you really want to go to that fancy restaurant down the road, you're going to make a point to learn these things, right? And again, learning. Somebody has commented saying, "Isn't that just learning?" Yeah, it is. But learning one thing to another thing, you know, some things are for you and some things aren't. that's just how it is. You know, I absolutely hate maths, but I really like gardening. I don't know.
But the thing about YouTube,
one thing is for you and one thing's not.
But the thing about YouTube is that it's learning, but it's also entertainment, and it's also got that aspirational element where, like I was saying before, the fact that you're learning from a particular person who presumably knows how to do these things and is making it look like it's aspirational, something that you want. They are showing it off in a way that makes you want it. But to move on from etiquette specifically, which is just sort of one thing, the other sort of the slightly darker side of the femininity YouTube is this channel I don't watch so much because I wasn't quite so impressed with her. But there's a lot of this is just one channel, but I understand that this fits into a kind of sub-genre of self-help, self-improvement content that talks about feminine energy and different kinds of feminine energy. Like, do you want to be... are you going to be like innocent and girly, or are you going to be like femme fatale, or super competent girl boss? Like, these are the energies that you're giving out that you need to refine or explore, or put your outfits to wear when you're in your moody academic feminine energy set a stage of your life.
I feel like this one specifically kind of, it's got a wider audience because people are going to watch this and think, okay, I'm more of the academic female, or I'm more of the girl boss female. But my first initial, for anyone who's not actually watching and is just listening to us, the photos of her on screen at the moment, incredibly posy. Every single one of these thumbnails is her posing with her hair, and she looks exactly the same in every photo. So I'm not gonna believe her anyway, because it looks like she's a bit of an actress to me. That might just be my cynical opinion, but
I think this kind of comes all the way back around to what you were saying before, where so you watch these videos and you do what she does, and you successfully learn how to best enhance and take advantage of your feminine energy, and you bag that really high status, like, hot guy who you want to marry. And it's like, are you just phony now? Like, are you just going to be keeping up this like super sexy like phony act your whole life now that you're with this guy? Like,
and those who know you are going to think, that's not you, and are you actually happy? Because if you're, again, just pretending to be someone else just to try and get something, you're not going to be happy in the long run, because it's not you. You're not being natural. You're just putting on a show for everybody else.
I don't even know if it works, to be honest. I mean, if you are like literally an actress, you might be able to keep this sort of thing up. But I think if you really wanted to try really hard to do this sort of thing, all that would happen is that you would come off looking very fake.
And exactly.
You'd let the mask slip, occasionally, and people would go like, "Oh, that was very weird how you turned out to be completely different."
It's like, I feel like in all of these thumbnails now, there is only one where she's got her hair up. I feel like that's the video where she slipped.
Well, who knows?
That's the one. I'm not going to go through and watch all these. I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, again, these you can see I haven't seen many of them because you. Wonder if you can see any of the red bars of the ones I watched. But there's also some... this leads to my next sort of very bad advice section that I've seen, which I shared with you earlier. You've already seen this, Birdie. Let's just share it on the screen. But there's some... I thought this account was parody for a long time, because I kept seeing their tweets, and it... Oopsie.
I do not have time for these. I really don't.
So the first thread that I saw by this account, she's called myriad. I don't know how to pronounce that E in French, but it's not A. It's Mary. Let's just call her Marie.
Yeah, let's just go with Marie. We're in England.
She had a thread about how to make, if you have a crush on a guy who has a girlfriend, how to make the guy break up with the girl so he'll be with you. Like, how to like be a homewrecker, basically.
No.
And it was this... I really thought it was parody. And I saw this face in her thumbnail, and I thought, okay, this is just like someone's just picked up a picture from Google images or
Is
whatever. Like,
she a
this isn't-
Zoomer?
Yes, but it was like quite. The thing was that the advice was I want to say it's good advice because it was very manipulative. And again, like if you got a boyfriend like that, would you even want him to be your boyfriend now that you manipulated him into breaking up with his girlfriend? That's
Problem is, I worry about accounts like this because, as you say, Post, she's been very strong on her advice and she's got quite a lot of positive reviews behind it. I am genuinely worried that the younger generation think that this is okay, even though we know that this is toxic. Like, this is not okay. She's being a home wrecker, but apparently that's fine because that's just the new thing to do.
I think that this is the inevitable consequence of making women think of themselves as victims, or like women are disadvantaged in the dating market. When they really internalize this feminism stuff, it gives them carte blanche. It gives them permission to act in very immoral and manipulative ways because they think the system is wrong, the system doesn't work, it's not fair, and all you can do is cheat to get ahead. And cheating's the only way to get ahead. And if everyone else is cheating, why? And I don't mean literally cheating, although that is what this thread is about.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not following the rules, you're not being a good person, that's just for chumps because no one else is doing that. So you might as well try and game the system and get out for yourself. Steal that boyfriend.
Yeah, and as you know, we've spoken about before on this channel, women are manipulative. They can be incredibly manipulative, and if they want something, they will find a roundabout way of getting it. So this woman's basically, I don't know if I can call her a woman because she's behaving like a child.
I mean, it's probably a man behind the account, to be honest.
It's probably a man. She's just basically sitting here saying, oh, it's okay to cheat on your other half. I mean...
No, so just to be... this is the thread that I've got on the screen right now, if anyone's not watching. And this is not saying... I just got to... I don't know why I have to go out defending this thread, but this is not a thread saying it's okay to cheat. It's absolutely not saying it's good to cheat.
No, that's just this one tweet.
It's describing it as like you're playing Knights of the Old Republic and you're choosing the dark path. Like you're choosing the dark side of a video game. It's like so shallow and weird. It's going like, okay, well you've cheated. That means that you're no longer on the good path or the path of light. You're now on the dark path. You know what I was saying about energy before? And there's all this sort of mysticism and metaphysics behind it that is used to convey pretty much no information but make it sound more believable. But she says that when you cheat on your partner, you have gone down a dark path and you can never return to the light, or you're just being too indecisive, and really you should just keep going down the dark path. And as far as I can tell, the thread doesn't tell you what you should do, but it's saying that you should not tell your partner if you cheated on them, your husband, your wife, whoever it is, that to tell them you cheated on them is only it's only trying to alleviate your own sense of guilt. And so you're being selfish and you're being indecisive when really you should just be dark side. And the only way I can consider this to be a good advice, or like not absolutely horrible advice, is if, reading between the lines, if she's suggesting that all you can do is break up with the person you're with because that relationship is doomed, you've cheated on them, break up with them but don't tell them why you broke up. You know, that's the best advice I could possibly extract from this thread.
Yeah, I mean, we all know they're going to find out anyway, but...
Or they might have guessed,
more likely have guessed because, it's a bit obvious. I've seen it more than once with my friends. You know, he's left me, why has he left me? And my brain instantly goes to, he's probably with somebody else. Because if there's no explanation, they just kind of just go, I don't love you anymore, and they disappear. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to believe that at all. But,
the thing about this thread is, after saying, okay, you've chosen the dark path, just continue on the dark path, you're a dark person now, don't try to be good. Basically the opposite of everything Christianity says about forgiveness and washing yourself of your sin. She basically just either has never heard of that or completely disregards it and says, okay, well, you're just bad, so just be bad.
See, what kind of interested me about this thread is, I mean, she's saying, you've hit the dark path, now that's it, you're stuck here, etc. My brain instantly went to, well, you shouldn't have done it in the first place.
Well, yeah, obviously that. But the
So it's
thing
kind
is,
of like just don't do it and you'll be fine. If you do it, then if you want to get back on the light path, then I would say admit. You and I both know on in terms of the Christian side, you admit your sins to basically clear them. And she's just like, nah, just stay on the light path. That's it. You're stuck now. It's your own fault.
because I truly believe that without, even if it's not Christian or whatever, you don't need to believe in a supernatural being or force, but there's a belief in truth, in committing yourself to truth, to reality, to telling the truth, and to being as truthful as you can, that is sort of religious, even if it's not based in an actual, what we'd call a religion. I think there's a commitment to truthfulness that is sort of like a religious belief that even atheists often have, where you believe that, okay, I've cheated on my partner. Now, if I don't tell them, the rest of our relationship is a lie. Like, I can't just, like, continuing to go home to that person and live with them. You're lying to them every second you're with them and not telling them. The love that they feel for you is false because it's based on not the truth. And for someone who just go, oh, but if you tell them that you cheated, they'll feel bad. So just don't tell them. But that's a completely utilitarian, bonkers, like post-atheist like view. It's just it's completely devoid of value.
If you're keeping secrets from your other half, then you don't trust them. You also don't trust yourself. So, not trusting each other, why are you even together if you're not telling them everything? If you've done something, then just tell them. I mean, if you've cheated on them, yeah, tell them, but leave because you're a cretin and you shouldn't have done it. But at the same time, don't then, I mean, yeah, you're going to hurt somebody, but you've already done the hurt, right? So
yeah,
why, the hurt's already been done. The damage has been done. So regardless of whether it's cheating or anything else in life, if you've done something that you know is wrong, that you feel bad about, I would still want to admit that. Then just, you've already done it. You've already, you can't really get any worse because it's already been done. Damage has already been done.
Yeah.
You can't go around in circles.
Okay. The thing I wanted to just mention before we move on is just that the replies. This is insightful. Depends on if it's. This is just. It blows my mind. Just reply after reply after reply of just like, oh yeah, this is so true.
Yeah, but I've noticed they're all the same kind of people.
This woman says, depends on if you did it unwillingly. For example, to sleep with your boss, versus willingly.
What?
Or willing. Although I would personally not sleep with my boss, I don't think it qualifies as cheating. If I do it willingly with someone I actually like, I will definitely tell my partner. Like, okay, don't tell your boss if it's don't tell your partner if it's for a promotion, because that's just work.
She's basically saying if she sleeps with somebody that she's not emotionally attracted to or connected to, then that doesn't matter.
Yeah, just like this has got ratioed. It might be worth mentioning this particular reply, but like I said, it's selfish and hurtful to admit it. Says one person.
Yeah, but you've already done the damage, so
yeah. God's bra says you should repent. Nice. Have you ever seen? I heard someone say, maybe it was on Twitter or on Reddit or something. Someone saying that they told their the Catholic priest in confession that they cheated, and they thought it was confidential, which is supposed to be, but the priest told their spouse, and then they filed for divorce. It was kind of like a like dark based priest moment.
That's hilarious. I mean, local churches, if you get friendly with your priest, I mean, they're gonna rat you out. Let's be fair. And
victimless crime as long as no one finds out. Just 5 likes on that tweet, on that reply.
No, that doesn't make it okay. Just because you don't get caught, it doesn't mean that it makes it okay.
Yeah, there's something I've heard. I don't know if this is true or not. Please, disclaimer on this, fact check. But I heard that there's a very strange cultural quirk about Japan, where there's quite a big sort of prostitution industry in Japan. Where it's like a really normal thing to happen, and also it's quite a normal thing for, like, not really really normal, but it's like it's more normal than it is here for an adult man to have like a teenage girlfriend as well as, you know, in addition to his wife, he'll just have like he'll be a sugar daddy. That's like a normal Japanese thing apparently. And this is not shameful in and of itself, but it's very shameful to let your wife find out about your other, about your girlfriend or about your prostitutes. Like if you're unkind enough to let her know somehow, or to be imprudent enough to leave clues, that makes you like a scumbag because you've just hurt your wife by letting her. Like it's the exact sort of philosophy of the people in this thread. Saying like, victimless crime. Like, oh, you get to have your little piece on the side, and she never finds out. She thinks you're a committed, loving man. So win-win.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true about Japan though.
It's just wrong. I mean, I started giggling because the only thing that came to my head then was Red Hawk. I know he has actually gone back on this comment now, but yeah, bless him.
Let's move on. I feel dirty talking about infidelity. It's it just makes me feel sad.
Let's go back to the other.
So I've got
horrendous comments.
A channel that I used to watch.
Oh dear!
I stopped watching Charisma on Command. One of the founders of this organization went on to do his own kind of politics podcast, like his own Dave Rubin talk show, where he just gets on guests to talk about their ideas in cancel culture and sort of really basic level YouTube politics.
Initial points. I'm just going to put my initial point because I have never heard of any of these people. So this is my first view, and my initial comment is I feel like he just rats out and has a go at other people for doing stuff instead of himself, because so far it's just arrows pointing to various celebrities and saying, you've got don't do this.
No, it's all good stuff. It's like saying his videos, what he does is he uses a celebrity. Well, he does the Amy Schumer, obviously. He does sometimes say this is why this person's not likable, but he'll often these arrows are saying like this is that one trick that this celebrity uses to be really likable, or that one joke that people tell that makes everyone like them more. Use this joke. 7 easy jokes that make people obsessed with you. I'm telling you, this channel has gone like downhill a lot from when I was watching it. They've like completely sold out and done this really clickbait content. But
they
put a celebrity in the thumbnail.
We all know you watched him. It's too late.
They put a celebrity in the thumbnail, which gets attention, and then the title makes it sound so easy to be likable. Like, just tell that one joke, or why don't you just make eye contact, bro? Like, it's the most like surface level advice that I can guarantee would not. If you're not a naturally charismatic, like magnetic person, you're not just going to be able to apply a trick to suddenly become likable and chatty. You need to. If anything's going to work, you're never going to become like Matthew McConaughey. Realistically, if you don't have that temperament, you can become slightly more functional by practicing a lot. Yeah, that sounds like depressing, but that's just what I found myself being quite introverted. And it used to be really difficult for me to even make YouTube videos because I couldn't get my thoughts in an orderly kind of paragraph or a video to get out there. And doing YouTube has really helped me a lot because it's the most that I talk all day, all week. I'm a pretty quiet person, and I'll sometimes have a long conversation with my husband, but coming on Wamen Hour to chat for an hour non-stop is really weird for me, and something that was very difficult to do at first, and that's how I know that it's really just practice, I think.
Yeah. I mean, again, with these videos, obviously they're going to take practice to do, and I mean, he must have spent a lot of time trying to pick out each of these various things from all the celebrities. But again, there's so many celebrities on here. He's basically just picking out social skills from each one. And it's kind of like, okay, you could just do a video on social skills, but I suppose using the celebrities is going to bring in more viewers, I'd imagine.
Well, that's the thing, is that these guys who run this channel, they are naturally charismatic, and that's what I'm saying about the video content making it a completely new medium, where you could have a really popular self-help book about, there were really famous, really popular best-selling, parenting books. There's, how to win friends and influence people, things that people are still talking about these days that came out decades ago. That, it's a book. It's full of really interesting information about psychology and research. but also you could just have it's all the more persuasive and entertaining to just have it as a video with you're looking at celebrities, you're looking at these really charismatic guys who, you know, if you remember what they look like, they're like, you know, muscly, they're handsome, they're wearing a, you know, suit, and it's like they're selling this as what you could become if you apply these tricks, when really these guys would, they're like 90% of the way to what they are now anyway. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like again with all these people, I'd want to meet them in person and see if they are actually like that. I mean, we've said it before. People who say things over the internet, I'm like, okay, I want to see you in person and see if you still have that opinion.
post physique.
Yeah.
Question,
See,
like videos like
I can't
this,
stand this.
how to avoid being ignored if you're quiet? Like, okay, so you're quiet, you don't like talking, but this is like, okay, I want to watch this video. I'll commit 8 minutes of my time to learning how I could actually be cool without having to talk to people.
Sit quietly in the corner.
Yeah, why don't you just put on some like sunglasses and like have a drink in your hand, like
just look over the top of them occasionally and just
or just do exactly what Aragorn does in Fellowship of the Ring. Sorry, Birdie, this is for the viewers at home, not for you. But just sit in the corner with a pipe and a hood that covers most of your face, and people will think you're really, really cool, or they'll think you're a really creepy stalker.
That one.
Either
I will definitely think you're creepy. I just will.
But these guys, I don't know how many what's true for these other channels, but this channel in particular, I know they sell courses, and that's kind of what I wanted to bring this to. It's like it's not just videos that you're committing time to. Like it's not just videos that have sponsorships that make these guys money. They sell these courses, these lectures, and workbooks and things that cost probably hundreds of pounds. And often if they're bodybuilders, they might sell a course, they might sell a book, or they might sell like supplements is one thing that happens a lot, where people go like, oh yeah, I'm telling you all this advice about how to be charismatic, but actually if you take these supplements, you'll be healthy and energetic. And Alex Jones and Joe Rogan, they all do these like, oh, wouldn't you like to have more energy? Just take these up. Wouldn't you like to put on more muscle? Well, the key is that take this pill. And I'm not saying that none of it works, but it's very much it's a business.
It does sound fake. I mean, It does sound like they're trying too hard and they've got a stall at the school fete, and they're just sat there, just trying to make a fiver for their pocket money. But this is why I can't be dealing with that.
That brings me to this video, which I thought was brilliant. Super Eye Patch Wolf makes videos about anime and video games and wrestling, and I really like his videos. But this video, he did a 2-hour breakdown of buying content creation courses. So he has a channel. I think he had about 1 million subscribers when he first started this project, and he basically spent his own real money taking these courses that are made by people like Jake Paul, like these influencers, these YouTubers who sell mostly kids on the idea that they can become a successful, popular YouTuber by following these tips, and they charge money to go on the course to learn this stuff, and the vast majority of people will not see a return on that. The idea is that, okay, you take this course and, okay, it's going to cost £200, but think of the millions you're going to make when you get a successful YouTube channel.
See, this is my initial, I think it's fake and it's ridiculous, because a lot of these, I mean, we'll probably hear, more about it in a minute, but my initial thing with these courses is they say, oh, you can do this. This is how to be more socially acceptable, and it's like, why don't you just talk to people? Just go outside instead of sitting on a computer and watching a course, paying for a course that you're going to get absolutely nothing for, or that you'll gain something that you could have got for free by just reading a book or talking to your neighbor. This is what I don't get, but they do somehow manage to hook these people in, so they're obviously good at selling things. I'll give them that much credit, but
this video was just about YouTube advice, how to make thumbnails, how to name your videos, how to do collaborations, do merch giveaways, and basically the nuts and bolts of how to make YouTube videos and how to market those videos. So there was some interesting stuff there. I'm just relaying what Super Eye Patch Wolf found out when he took all these courses to find out exactly what they were saying. And the thing is that he implemented the advice that these courses gave to see if he could see a return on his subscribers. He already has loads of subscribers. He has a large platform. So the idea was that if he started using this advice, then he should be able to see growth from the algorithm recommending his videos more, getting more new viewers. He's creating content that people really like, so it should be easy to grow the audience. But the things that he did didn't have any effect. It was all just completely fake, just complete scam, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You see the my recommendations down here. I just noticed.
Yeah, there was a comment saying, where did she find all these channels? I'm starting to get a bit concerned about you, Poe, and just popping up with these channels. I'm thinking,
I
watch. What is she
I watch so much YouTube. We don't have a TV in our house. We don't pay a TV licensing fee. We barely watch TV shows, really. It's all YouTube all the time. And then after the kids go to bed, we might watch like an episode of Columbo or Star Trek, or like a few episodes of something, or a movie in the evening. But during the day, wake up in the morning, breakfast, while I'm making lunch, while I'm working, I'll have YouTube videos on my headphones, often if it's work that can facilitate that. So it's just, you'll be surprised at how many hours of content I could get through, and what sort of range of stuff I've been watching. Really quite embarrassing stuff in some cases. That's all of the. I forgot to show you that one I was talking about with the African American lady.
Yeah,
again, actually, I really like this channel. The thing is that if I'm working and I've got something on my headphones, a lot of what I'm looking for is just someone who has a pleasant voice, who can speak without tripping over their words.
You don't necessarily have to watch to kind of understand.
No, I'm not watching it, and I don't even really care what they're saying. If it's delivered in a very pleasing way, I don't mind if it's necessarily that interesting. It's better if it's not boring, but I can listen to like hours about some mundane subject if it's delivered nicely. Just makes you feel calm.
One thing I've noticed is the actual difference from the kind of this genre of videos that we watch. So the ones you've shown so far, Poe, have been very specific. They've all been a video about something very, very specific. Whereas I watch the ones where they haven't done this. I don't know whether they're going to. I hope not. But as I was saying earlier, they get asked all these questions of how have you done this, how have you done that, and they might do one video on how they've done it. But I'll watch the not necessarily influencers, just the kind of nice YouTube channels where she might just do like I've been watching Sage Lillyman recently. I don't know if you know her at all, but
shall I look it up?
Yes, I will. She's very, very sweet. I first watched it because it popped up on Alex's YouTube, because I've completely ruined his algorithm because it's on the telly, so I just put random stuff in.
I found it. I love it.
And I jokingly said she's the Australian version of me. And it got to a point where I was just watching it more and more, and I was like, no, I really like this. No, she does that. I kind of want to do that. And, I'll just randomly watch her, and she's just very nice to listen to. There are a couple of her videos where I'm kind of like, okay,
I'm subscribing. I haven't even seen it.
Stop with the giggling now, but yeah. I mean, other than that, she's very sweet. But yeah, I mean, as you can see, she kind of does these just generalized, what I would call generalized videos. But they are, in a way, still kind of like, oh, okay, I'll watch that video and then I'll want to go and do it. So they have that sort of same effect without her physically saying, go and do this to make your life better. It's kind of you see her doing it, and you see how happy it makes her, and also how happy it makes her husband or her neighbors, her family. And it just looks nice. The kind of presentation she gives of whatever she's doing kind of gives you the same sort of selling point as those who are like, oh, if you do this, you'll become better.
Yeah, it's implied. Yeah, aspirational stuff. Definitely. Like that, a lot of that lifestyle. Like, people don't make lifestyle content when they have really chaotic, messy lives. generally.
Yeah, she
Unless
has
they're like
quite. I'd
reality
say she
TV.
has quite a laid back life, to be honest. So I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be nice, but
Yeah, there's a lot of videos like that. Like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what I do on my day off, and it's like, 7:30 a.m. I've got this making my coffee and spending 45 minutes making a really aesthetic breakfast, and I go
Yeah.
for a run, and I just think like,
Yeah.
if only, like, I wish
It's
I
like,
had
yeah,
that kind of time on my
tea
hands.
and toast in half an hour. That's it. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, half an hour, I wish.
Yeah.
More like 5 minutes stuck
Oh,
between.
Bo.
I wanted to mention the reason this has been on my mind this week is I watched a video recently about selling viewers stuff, like not merch, but
Where is this going, Bo?
the phenomenon of affiliate links. Are you familiar with the term affiliate link?
No,
So
of course I'm not, actually.
so there's, I don't know if you might know it by a different term, but often the way that people make money these days, in addition to adverts and everything, you can set up your own storefront in Amazon where you make a list of products that you are recommending in your videos, or things that you're wearing in your videos or using in your videos without even mentioning them.
Right.
And you'll put it in the description box or in the comments. And people who follow that link, you will get you a commission. So, for instance, the light side of this is there's a channel that I watched a lot of when the Game of Thrones TV show was coming out. There was a channel that basically caught you up on the books, all the stuff that was missed from the books. That people who were watching the TV show, they were interested to know the backstory of all this stuff that was in the books, without actually having to read those. And at the end of every video, he'd say, if you want to read the books, go to the description box and buy them using the link, because I get a commission. If you're interested in these books I'm telling you about, you can read them, and I'll get a commission from that. And it's just a kind of way of turning everyone into a salesman. And the crazy thing that happens is that people start making so much money from these affiliate links that they'll make videos. It's like a sponsorship video that no one has asked you to do.
Yeah.
You're just selling stuff. And, if you're getting a lot of views, even if it's only like pennies you're getting in commission, it all adds up. And that's when it becomes really insidious, where you're saying, no, don't just do these things. You don't just tell this joke or smile in this way or make eye contact or whatever it is. You actually have to buy this thing, like buy this dress, buy this cookie kit, this cake pan, buy this aesthetic wool basket, hanging basket or whatever. It's like, you could buy those things, but it's not going to give you the life that you want just by buying the things that the person in the video has. And when you get them, they may be like terrible quality, and you're just lining the pockets of Jeffrey Bezos, and it's all just a little bit.
I've watched quite a lot of videos, and Sage included. Bernadette Banner does it as well. I know Bernadette does get commission from whenever she sells, because she does do sponsored videos. But a lot of the time, even Sage does it as well. She will say, "Oh, this is my dress. Click the link below." And I mean, they'll say, "Oh, so and so sent me this," and it's like, how are you getting these sent to you? Because I think one of Sage's videos, I can't remember which one it is now, but she was trying on cotton dresses, and they were so nice. And I went to the website because, classic, underneath, click the link below to see where I got them from. They sent me these couple of dresses. Actually, I think it was the lookbook. Yeah, it was the vintage lookbook. The dresses in there. So of course I went to this website and nearly had a heart attack. Because of the price of these things. And I thought, there's no way in hell.
I want that dress.
See, they're so nice. They are so nice. There is no way in hell I'm going to be able to afford these. And then she was sat there going, "Oh, I had these sent to me by
affiliate link
the company." Yeah, there you go. So yeah, and it was crazy, because I just thought, oh god, even with 10% off, there is still no way I could afford that.
Yeah, these are nice dresses though.
I
wonder if I do the old transfer, we can see them. Is that still sharing? I think it is.
It is, yeah. There we go.
Yeah. No, very nice. Dresses, I mentioned in the chat, I didn't like the dresses that I had. They're not really the right size for me. So I wanted to get just a dress that's the right size. That was basically my only requirement. And I looked at hundreds of dresses that are on sale for this season, getting ready for spring. A lot of brands have dresses out, and I just hated all of them. I've actually bought this one where I'm pretty happy with it. But these look nice too, and the skirts are.
I think there was one skirt that she showed, and it was just the perfect skirt. It was cotton, it had a lining, it had pockets. I mean, we all know we love pockets in our skirts and dresses.
I've been watching this lady on TikTok who talks about dresses and fashion, and I swear, like, I was really tempted to just on the spur of the moment buy a petticoat using her affiliate link, because she was showing off this. A petticoat is just like a dress you wear. I'm just explaining this for the audience. It's a lacy, or it might not be lacy, skirt that you wear under your dress to give it a little bit more body. And when you get a little peek of a petticoat, it gives it this like just a little bit extra visual appeal, like a bit of contrast with the colours. And she made it look really pretty. And I was just thinking, like, I'd really like to have a petticoat. I'd like to wear a petticoat under my dress. That sounds really cool and really trad. I was like, oh, there's a link in there's a link in the description. Let me buy it. And then I realised, like, I don't really have any dresses I could wear a petticoat with.
I have to admit, I do own a petticoat.
Nice.
But I only have the skirt version, not the full body version. It's just the skirt version.
Oh yeah, I meant just the skirt part.
Yeah, just the skirt version. But again, I bought mine secondhand. I think it was like £4.
Nice.
So that's the way to go, Bo. If you want a petticoat, if you want to try something, I would definitely recommend just getting it secondhand. Or of course, making one is always a good option as well.
Yeah, well, it goes underneath, so why make it fancy?
And it's a lot warmer. Extra layers.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Yeah, good for these sort of spring months where you get a stiff breeze occasionally. So while we're looking at these dresses, I do want to
notice how there's no prices until you click on.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not going to buy them, to be honest. I just like looking at them.
There's a red flag right there if there's no price on it until you actually ask or click on the item.
Yeah,
I know I'm not going to be able to afford that.
But we do need to finish these. We need to read the super chats for to be able to afford these dresses. So we
just send them all in now.
Please send in the super chats for the petticoat fund. So first of all, from DRT, thank you very much for $5. Good to see Women's Hour back after 2 weeks. Can Women's Hour have an episode on the AI overlords for matchmaking? I trust AI more than my terrible luck online.
Oh dear.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I mean, that's basically what matchmaking websites have become, is just using an algorithm, just like YouTube sets you up with videos you might like. Match.com sets you up with people that you might like, and Tinder sets you up with people who are in your radius, and that's it.
Just go to the pub, DRT is king. Go to the pub, go outside.
Yeah.
Stop using dating apps.
But I think well, it looks like he's been beaten in the arms race. What do you call it? The auction for suggestions. So we'll have to see. The English Loyalist for $9.99. Thanks so much. Self-improvement begins with yourself. You can read 100 good books and videos, but nothing will change unless you're committed to change. Improve yourself and don't copy. Find your own glory and honor.
Absolutely.
I basically think this is correct. Like, I think most fairly functional people know what is wrong in their life, and they can't. Like, someone who's talking on YouTube does not know what you need. They're saying, like, oh, you need to eat more meat, like meat less refined sugar, and like, okay, maybe that would help, but what if you just need to clean up your room? Jordan Peterson's advice.
I'd say the key was in the name. It's self-improvement. You are trying to improve yourself. You're not trying to copy somebody else. You need to figure out what you need to improve in your life, not I'm just going to do that to mask what I need to improve. Actually figure out what you do think you need to work on, and that doesn't take 2 seconds. I mean, that could take years. But
the thing that really bothers me about this stuff is, when, in my own experience and what I've heard from other human beings, is that if you analyze what is going on with someone's life, like what is actually making you miserable, what is holding you back, sometimes it might be your bad habits and your bad personality that you need to fix, or maybe you need to be tidier, maybe you need to be more productive, like maybe these things, but there's probably just tidying up the edges of a pretty orderly life. But when people are really miserable or they're just completely lost or feeling anxious or feeling depressed. These people with what I consider to be a really difficult life, it's usually caused by chaotic people in their life. Not saying that they just need to cut those people out, because they might be family. But
do it.
The best advice that I've seen is, for me at least, maybe it's just because I'm interested in psychology, but learning about how to just deal with other people, how to talk to that really difficult person in your life so they don't take advantage of you, so you don't end up blowing up at them every time you speak to them. How do you be more assertive? How do you be more understanding? Like this stuff about, you don't know exactly what your own personality quirks are that may be making it worse, but I think the main contributor to the joy in life and the pain in life is usually just other people who you really don't have much control over. And you can improve yourself, but if you still have a person who's just, there's the common, people always say toxic these days. Like, you've just got a toxic person in your life, which sounds so defeatist, I think. Like, your only option is just to cut them out, when that's just not an option a lot of the time. Like, if you live with someone for financial reasons, or you're married to someone and the advice is just like, you need to leave them, that's just not an option.
It's not good
in some
advice,
situations. No. Like, if someone's the parent of your child, you can't just divorce them. Like, this person is going to be in your life for as long as you want to have a relationship with your own children. So you're going to have to make it work, or at least minimize the pain that these people are causing you. That's a weird tangent to go on, but it's just an example of, maybe you've got a debilitating illness, right? Like, that's a problem. That's something that would be causing you a lot of difficulty in your life. That's just not going to be helped by getting just the right cooking pot.
I don't know. It does help. It does make you happier.
Maybe it does.
You got a good plan.
The thing is that it's kind of like the phenomenon of the fallacy of looking where the light is good, where it's you kind of focus your attention on the places where you can make positive improvements, and these YouTube channels will focus on the parts of your life that can be fixed with a YouTube video. Or ostensibly, like, convincingly be fixed with the YouTube video.
Which doesn't necessarily mean it's going to fix it, because there might be something in your life that's standing in the way of that, and that's what you need to fix first. So if you want to do something but you can't because of, I don't know, a person who's got anger issues, and you need to figure out how to be able to cope with that and deal with that personally, then you're not going to be able to do anything. You've got to sort out what's stopping you first. Sort out yourself before you can do any form of self-improvement, because if you don't already know which parts need improving, then you're just going to be in a bit of a rat run, really. You're just going to be going around in circles watching YouTube videos and not knowing which ones are actually going to do anything.
I got this super chat from DRT for $2 to quote the Arbiter, "Were it so easy." I believe the Arbiter is the character from Halo, Halo 2 and Halo 3, but I don't know what this. I really don't know what part of the conversation this was in reference to. So I'm sorry about that, DRT. I'm sure it was a very witty remark in reference to what we were saying, but I
probably
I don't get it. We also got this from. I just noticed we got this from Bar Steward. I enjoy Star Trek up to and including Deep Space Nine, but anything after that I consider to be new Star Trek, and I haven't really watched any of that.
Next Generation is probably the better one, I would say.
Yeah, no, that's good. Personally. I like Deep Space Nine as well. We've got a whole live stream talking to Saffron and Mr. Gently Benevolent and my husband about Deep Space Nine for over 2 hours, and that was an excellent. It's one of the, in my own personal opinion, one of the better live streams I've ever done. Where I love talking about I love talking about Star Trek. I love talking about movies, which is why
it's a bit of a running joke that I obviously don't really watch movies or TV shows, but I cannot escape from Star Trek because my dad always had it on. So when I left for school, it was on. When I came home from school, it was on. He worked nights, so he would come home, stay up until I went to school, and then he would be up, as I came home from school, he'd be up to start his shift. So it was always on, and it was always Next Gen. And then now Alex's youngest brother always has it on. So whenever I go over there, they've always got it on. I can't escape. I've seen.
It's a way of life,
episode.
Birdie.
back
Just
to
watch.
back.
They only get better. Just watch them again. You
It's
can
not
always.
even
You
our
can.
choice. It's not even our
The
choice.
wonderful thing
I
about
know
Star
them
Trek,
all.
there's so much of it, and it's so good. You can just watch Star Trek again and again your whole life and just be happy because the new TV they make is so rubbish. You
See,
have a better
I
time just
don't-
watching Star Trek again.
I don't even need to, Poe, because other people do it for me, and I just happen to be in the room when it's on. I don't think I've ever physically put Star Trek on myself. I've never physically clicked on it and go, "Oh, I'm going to put Star Trek on." But yeah, I have seen every single episode. And
If I said Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra, do you know what that means?
No, I recognise the quote, but I can't tell you what it means. When I say
Alright.
I've seen every single one, I don't mean I've like studied it. Poe.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
always
fair
been-
I don't know. I wasn't asking you to translate it. It's just the it's become a bit of a meme, like a reference to the that episode.
dear.
So it's like in that episode, there's a character who says that about 1,000,000 times. So that's why it's kind of Shaka when the walls fell. Let's end the stream before I do any more cringy references. So
I mean,
It's been an hour.
new? What's new?
thanks so much for watching, and join us next week for whatever random topic that I pick out of a hat, and for the
Star
new
Trek.
intro with featuring my illustrations. So do go ahead and get in touch with me if you want any illustration, cartoon, graphic work done. And otherwise, I will see you next week. Thank you very
I'll
much
just
for
point
the
out one last
Go
comment,
on.
Poe, from Jay. Oh, and we've got another
more super chats. you mean?
another super chat.
Oh, brilliant.
There's a comment from Jay as well, which I think just accurate.
This
This
one?
one. Yeah.
No, get a wife who's
that's-
both. You
That's
deserve
me and Poe on
both.
stream.
Timber,
us.
his arms wide.
What was
from
that super chat? I
DRT.
didn't even read it.
Last minute super chat from DRT. Birdie, there are no English pubs in America, and when I do approach
Okay,
women,
bar
she's in a
then.
committed relationship. Finding a
I'm
single
sorry,
woman is hard.
bar. Okay, well, don't approach them weirdly and go to a bar and just say hello.
Yeah.
Even if she's in a relationship, you can still say hello to her, but obviously don't try anything. You know, not every
Yeah.
single woman you say hello to is going to be single. That's just how
basically,
life is.
most women, if they're attractive, they probably are already in a relationship. When you don't know what state the relationship's in. They might be just started off, or they might be on the rocks. I mean, I'm not saying that you should be breaking people up on purpose.
Don't
but
be a home wrecker.
the thing is that if you talking to a woman who's in a relationship, like, okay, you have to hit on her, you don't have to lean in to make a move, but it's still good experience that will help you to talk to women
Social
and
skills.
how to make them laugh, how to make them like you. It's all good social skills. Like, they'll probably be grateful to talk to a guy who's not just interested in getting a date with them. Actually try to learn how to enjoy talking to women. And make it just less scary the next time.
Have a conversation with them. Don't just say, "Oh, are you single?" and then walk away when they say no. Actually have a conversation. We believe in you. You can do this.
The thing that I know we talk about dating advice way too much, and that was one thing that we didn't really touch on the stream, is just this the dating self-improvement sort of ideas where it's like, okay, do this, don't do this, like, don't call her a day later, and loads of dating advice is just completely inundated because so many people are struggling with it. Like, single people, we get them comments from them all the time. They're just desperate. They're like, where do I find them? Like, how do I talk to them? Like, why are they all in a relationship? This is just a nightmare. And I really
Why
do
aren't they
feel
just there? Why aren't they at my front door when I
no,
go
I mean,
outside?
I appreciate that. Like, I feel, this, being lonely or being, just wanting to get on with your life and to, meet someone. That's a valid concern a lot of people have. And what if you don't have that?
Patience is a virtue.
Well, anyway,
Most of the time.
because there's such a market for it, there's a lot of because there's a demand. There's a lot of supply of dating advice. Some good, some bad. But honestly, if you're not a charismatic or attractive person, I don't know how much that advice is really going to help, to be honest. And so I'll decline to give my own advice. But I mean, just meeting more people can't be a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think, like, whether make friends, just get better at socializing, go outside more. That people are outside, they're not in your house, so that's what I think anyway.
They're not behind a computer screen.
Yeah. Well, some of them
Most
are,
of
but if that's not working,
that's
maybe
not
try
meeting a
something new.
person. That's not going to work.
Okay. That's all the super chats. Thanks so much to our super chatters. Thank you, Birdie, for joining me, and